Hello folks, it has been a week or so since we last covered Wuchang, and I honestly thought we wouldn't be circling back with another video until we'd received another update. However, today we do have some massively juicy news, and quite a bit of it, so we're not wasting any time, and we are diving right on in. Now, for the past month or so, Twitter and Reddit user Stray Curtis has been posting a plethora of content online regarding everything he's found whilst data mining cosmetics, spells, alternative character models, etc. I have had a keen eye on his posts since I first saw them on Reddit a few weeks ago, but up till now, I haven't had much time to put this all together. I'll be linking Stray Curtis's YouTube and Twitter account below, along with all of the posts mentioned in this video, so do feel free to check him out, as I'm sure he will have more news on the way. The first post we are starting with would be this one right here, which goes as follows. Based on my digging, invasions/co-op appear to be in the works, with a pretty full client-side implementation existing at release. You use an avian key item to activate the power of space-time, opening your world for co-op and invasions using the items shown in the video. The first item, which produces the red effect, triggers an event labeled Transmit Invader, while the second item, which produces the yellow effect, triggers an event labeled Transmit Assist. The third item appears to function similar to the red eye orb from Dark Souls or the bloody finger from Elden Ring, with the translation being searching for a world to invade, followed by matchmaking failed. There are game servers and API endpoints related to PvP/co-op, but as expected, they are not accepting connections. Sorry devs for hammering your server with requests. I promise I'll stop. And then finally, the messaging system is pretty standard for a Souls-like, not much else to say. Now, first thing is first, this doesn't necessarily mean these mechanics are on the way, it just means they exist to an extent within the game's files, and this could just be down to them being cut sometime prior to launch. Either are just as likely, given Wuchang did see a number of changes over the years, the creative decision to not include co-op or PvP may have been made, but with other aspects such as Wuchang being completely transferred from Unreal Engine 4 over to Unreal Engine 5 mid-development, this content may have just been temporarily cut due to not being ready. I personally don't want to lean too far either way. As much as I'd like PvP and co-op, I understand why others won't, but then this all entirely comes down to how it's actually being implemented into the game and how it changes the experience that already exists. What has been data mined so far shows that the entire system for both PvP and co-op appears to be set up. I am no expert, but it gets as far as trying to invade another world, so for the most part it does look quite fleshed out, but ultimately your guess would be as good as mine in regards to whether we actually see these mechanics or not. In addition to this, we have a comment from Stray Curtis under one of his posts, which states the following. While I haven't posted anything about it yet, deep within the game map files, there is a directory labeled chapter DLC_logic. I have also been able to teleport to some of the locations and load in various data, doors, ladders, enemies, ground items, and shrines. However, the map data files containing stuff like ground, scenery, buildings, etc. are missing, so there is indeed hope for DLC. This is just as juicy as the previous bit of info, to be honest, because this knowledge gives us some indication as to what Leansy are aiming for with Wuchang. Couple this with the fact that the game has been a success, estimated to have sold over 1 million copies within its first couple of weeks, and with that being over 6 weeks ago at this point, who knows how high that number truly is. All of this is to say that things do line up quite well for us to receive future DLC. Wuchang has of course seen some issues since launch, but overall it has managed to make quite an impact and has carved itself a nice little slice of the Souls-like pie. So I think it's completely reasonable to be a little bit more hopeful for DLC, given everything we do currently know thus far. The devs have been quiet for quite some time, with the latest update being on the 22nd of August, and we've had no announcement or update since. We know we can expect compensation items to be distributed within the next patch or two, but outside of this, we have no indication as to what may come with future updates at all. I am by no means saying let's all get excited for future DLC, but I am saying things do look hopeful to one day receive DLC, and given the devs are currently hard at work, and we're likely to receive announcements over the coming weeks, it's possible we may even hear more regarding some of the topics we've discussed in this video already. Again, I'm not making any guesses, and a lot of this is pure speculation outside of what I've provided as concrete evidence, so make of it what you will. In addition to all of this, Stray Curtis also has various posts regarding other cut content from the game. Some of the less interesting but more useful info would be all of the boss's stats and weaknesses, as well as the new game scaling data, and another post regarding New Game Plus only going up to 7, which I'll leave all of these linked below. Then we have this post regarding an alternative design for the Bow Sorcerer, and I'll let some some of this play out for a little while. It's likely other alternative designs may also exist, so it will be interesting to see if Stray Curtis manages to dig up any of those. We also have the actual effects of the ceramic jar, which are as follows. It has 4 unique modifiers attached to it, and all of those would be: Chance Up Soul increases red mercury dropped by 20%, Chance Up Armor doubles the drop rate of armor, Chance Up Tool also doubles the drop rate of tools, and Chance Up Material very much doubles the drop rate of materials also. So it's just a drop rate item. And then finally for the data mining, we have a range of 16 different cut spells, and I'll let all of these play out as the video continues. Now, I think it's fair to say this is all pretty exciting stuff. If Lindsay intend to use all of these assets, then we could very well have PvP and or co-op coming to the game, along with DLC, which would likely include new regions, weapons, spells, etc. It's all very much right here, not fully fleshed out and realised, but certainly exists more than just in concept. So, as optimistic as I may sound, it is only due to how much has already been developed regarding all of this. The alternative is we don't get anything beyond another title from the developers, so I like speculating as to what we may receive regarding DLC or future content in general, based on all of the different factors we do have available. Once again, folks, do check out Stray Curtis on Twitter if you would like to stay up to date with these data mines yourself. He does also have a YouTube channel which focuses mostly on Souls-like content, and this will also be linked below. And then finally, and perhaps a little bit late, but a huge thank you to Stray Curtis for allowing me to use all of his content in today's video. Now, as a tiny piece of good news for Wuchang, the game has officially budged from 51% positive reviews all the way up to a whopping 52% instead. I think maybe 80% or more may be needed for a positive review score. I am getting mixed answers from Google, but I'm fairly sure it's not 60% at the very least. The difference of 1% took Wuchang around 3 or so weeks to obtain, at just a rough calculation by myself, so it is very likely it will be over a year or two before Wuchang ever does sit at a positive review score on Steam. That's if the game manages to keep its head down and stop upsetting player bases in one way or another, so I guess we will just have to wait and see. Now, outside of everything already covered within this video, folks, we are covering Mistfall Hunter as of the 16th of this month, so just a week or so away, and then come the 14th of November, we'll be adding Where Winds Meet to the channel also. Mistfall Hunter is a PvP VE extraction looter with heavy Norse themes and combat very reminiscent to Souls-like or action RPGs, and then Where Winds Meet is a single-player / MMO action-adventure RPG, which is quite unlike anything I've ever played, and between the two games, we should have a strong and solid backbone for PvP and co-op content being included to the channel, in addition to all of the news and guides I already make for many different single-player titles. Beyond this, we have the likes of Valor Mortis releasing a playtest later this month, and then various other titles such as Onimusha, Phantom Blade Zero, Black Myth Zonkoi, etc., all with new announcements just a few weeks ago, and all set to release within the coming years. So, between the titles we already have, those we're adding before the year's through, all big future titles announced for the coming years, and any others we happen to stumble across and cover along the way, there should be more than enough to help keep the channel fresh. Anyway, that is very much it for this video, folks. I'll be back soon with more gaming news, just as soon as we have further developments to cover. I am beginning to branch out into slightly different topics moving forward, so things may be a little bit hit and miss, but we will figure it all out with time. I do, of course, have a range of guides and news videos on the channel already, so do feel free to stop on by and check things out. Otherwise, thanks for watching, folks, and until next time, peace.